So we do have some questions from Twitter for you guys. The first one is from Game Miller, and he asks, oh, I like this question. Why did you target an 18-plus audience? I guess that's starting with the comics, obviously, and then moving into the series.
Yeah, the comic was always a gritty crime comic that had superheroes in it. It was never a superhero comic that was cops, and that's one thing I always want to make people know. This is a cop show. This is about cops. It just has this other element in it, and I like my cops. I like my salty cops. You know, you've done a lot of research. You spend a lot of time with cops. It's an adult world. There's no reason to edit it down and whatnot. And as I said before, I think we're an alternative to. There's a lot of network shows, and that's cool. And you can do a lot of cool stuff on network. We're kind of an alternative to it, and I think we should celebrate that anywhere we can.
It's fun to see. You know, for me. Neil and I, my buddy, the director of D9, and you know, often talk about the fact that so many of the superheroes come from like a very long time ago, you know, and so you're having the same stuff. As much as we can enjoy them, it's like you just have the same characters. You can kind of, I mean, I can tell my kids what Batman is going to be about, you know. It's like, this is Batman, this is what he did. You know, it's like, okay, it's working, but you are seeing the same thing rehashed the same way. I mean, I think what is exciting to me about this is exploring, and this R-rated element of this allows you to go into more complexity. You know, exactly like, how do superheroes have sex? What does an autopsy look like? What is a, you know, it's really just starting to really push the boundaries of exploring this idea that has been around for a very long time of superpowers.
Also, I love police officer gallows humor. Like when they're around a dead body and they kind of, to deal with the horror around them, they start busting balls and making jokes, and they get salty and dark. And I just to eliminate that would be, you know, like a failure. And also, Dina's got a mouth on her.
She sure does.
For fans of the book, if Dina's like one of the first 5 lines was, are we allowed to do that here?
No, not really, but it's been fun for me. It's been fun for me to realize I do in my personal life, but it's.
Well, let me try that again. Dina has a.
She does in her personal life.
Has a salty language, and yeah.
She sure does, but it doesn't feel gratuitous. That's one of the things that I enjoyed. It didn't feel like it's not being salacious just to be salacious. It's just kind of, this is what would happen in this moment. Cops curse.
Yeah.
People
and
curse.
Also, I think there's the way the superheroes talk to the public, and you were talking about Retro Girl and in her line in the pilot. There's the way she talks to the public, and there's the way she really is. So she closes the door, turns around, and goes, you know what? I'm not going to repeat the word, but you know, imaginable.
We're already in the hole.
At this point, we're already so far down the rabbit hole. It's been fun for me.
Yeah, you can't put us on a show and think it's not going to happen.
It took them weeks to train me out of cursing on camera. So our second social question that's not about cursing, sadly, is the Mr. H.D. Parks asks, what were the hardest elements of transitioning this into a live action series?
For it to have its own life, that was you know, this is the way it is, and it's drawn very strongly. The people ask right away, like, you know, who's going to play these characters? It's drawn very strongly. I have quite a voice on me, so to have its own voice and let Charlie give it its own life was the hardest thing. It's all, and by the way, it's one of those things you could do everything right and screw it up, or you can do everything wrong and it's great. So, but you want to try your hardest and do it right. And so those things are the ethereal mystery of making good is the hardest part.
And it's